That's the funk.
Good afternoon, evening. I almost said good morning like I was making another video. Well, good evening, everybody. Chris and Tiffany here, and welcome to this week's live episode. We are back after taking a week off. We had an interesting week last week. We had quite a bit going on. It was Valentine's Day. We were feeling a little under the weather, and we were welcoming our third grandchild. So we now have a grandson, two granddaughters, and a grandson. So our week was a little busy last week, But we are back to get back into the cruise news, and we got a bunch of people already here.
So we have Attila the Fun. Hi, y'all. I'm back from our cruise to the Bahamas on the Carnival Dream. Such a great time. The Dream is still a very cool ship, even if it is older. Dilly says hello, Chris and Tiffany. Dale says hello. Robert says good evening. Dale likes the new intro.
Yeah, except for every time I see it, now I want to go travel again.
Yeah.
Makes me nostalgic to get back out there.
Attila says groovy, man. Bajarn, hello, everyone. Connie, ahoy. Just Cody, hey, Chris and Tiffany, and High Seas Cruising family. And just Cody says congratulations.
Well, congratulations, of course, go out to Mom and Dad, for bringing a new grandbaby for us to enjoy and spoil. Though Grandma got shot down. She got shot down very first out of the gate. She goes, ooh, what sizes are all of these grandbabies now? And what she was told, no sizes for you. They are spoiled enough. So Grandma got denied.
That's all right, though.
My wallet cheered, but Grandma got denied. So, yep, we now have a grandbaby boy.
Yes.
Super excited to say another baby to spoil.
Yes.
He must join the ranks of the girls in the spoiled rotten categories. Let's see. How's everybody doing, though? Let's see. Back from the Carnival Dream. Yeah. We have not sailed on the Carnival Dream. Not yet. We have sailed on sister ships, though.
Yes.
The Carnival Breeze is a sister ship. So, yeah, and the Carnival Breeze in that particular class of Carnival ship is a very nice class of ship. It's one of the ones from Carnival we really, really do enjoy. I like the Breeze, so I got a feeling that, she's different a little bit, but like the Dream. And we know people who've been on the Dream and really like the Dream as well. So I've only really ever heard good things about the Carnival Dream. And those older ships, they got something to offer. They always have something to offer. That middle area right there is almost a perfect area to grab a cruise ship for. Before they got too big but aren't super small. That's a nice, good size, good cruising area to be in, I think.
Spa is super nice.
Very nice ships. Very nice ships. But let's see what has been going on in cruising this week. I was telling Tiffany about it last night. I think it's an interesting story. I don't know if you guys have read this or not, but Celebrity Cruise Lines has now announced that on select cruises, so it's got to be cruises that have inclement weather. So they're talking like Alaska cruises up towards the Antarctic. They're going to open the adults only area on board the ship with the pool because it's covered, it's climate controlled. They're going to be opening that up for everybody on select cruises due to if and when there's inclement weather. So you could, in theory, be in the adults only area and suddenly it'd be full of kids.
Yes.
So I'm kind of curious. Now, I did this to Tiffany too. That's all the information I gave her when I told her the story, just to kind of judge her reaction on that. And if I don't tell you anymore, I think that just that right there would upset some people. Mm-hmm. Some people book cruises because they have adults only areas. They want the adults only areas. They don't want the kids in there. They don't want the noise, the running around, the splashing in the pool. They don't want all that kind of stuff in the adults only area. And I get that. If you want that peace and quiet and that, noise-free zone, that's, that would be something you can say, wow, I don't know how I feel about kids being in the adults only area. But I think Celebrity Cruise Lines, they did this kind of interesting. Because while they are going to do this, they've set very specific hours. And this is the part that's funny. So Celebrity now can go to people and say, well, look, if it's really cold and there's inclement weather, we're going to open the adults only pool for you guys to take advantage of it. We're doing this for you. We're looking out for our younger cruisers. We're looking out for the kids that may be on our cruise ships. That's what Celebrity's saying. So between the hours of 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. on those inclement weather days, that's the time that you're going to be allowed to use the pool. And I think they're dangling a false carrot, which I kind of find it funny that in general, because, between the hours of 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., that's dinner time. Mm-hmm. That's dinner time. The adults are generally out of the adult area at that particular time. They are getting dressed. They're getting ready. Either they're going to go to the early show and a late dinner. They're getting ready for early dinner, late show. They're going to head down possibly to the bar and have, a cocktail before dinner, something like that. So the number of people in the adults area is really, really reduced. Well, also between 5 and 7, particularly if you have younger children, that's their dinner time. Mm-hmm. So even though Celebrity's saying this and doing this and giving this as an option, I actually wonder when push comes to shove, how many kids will actually ever be in the adults area on board the ships. I mean, it's never going to be a huge number, I wouldn't think, because of the time frame that Celebrity has put in there. And I don't know, I'm amused by it because, like I said, it's the cruise line saying, hey, we're offering this, but if you put a little logic behind it and a little cruise thought behind it, I don't know that it really will affect anybody at all.
Yeah.
It's more of a just to say, hey, we did it.
Yeah. We
offered it. Just because you were eating and not taking advantage of it, well, that's not on us. Okay, and I see we're gonna be noisy, and if he's noisy, please put him out. Please. So yeah, thought I'd share that story with you guys this week. Because, as I said, I got a little bit of kick out of that particular story. And then, of course, we did the story, and we had a lot of comments on the story about the lady who was denied boarding due to being pregnant.
Yes.
She didn't verify the cruise contract, showed up to board the ship. She was beyond the 24 weeks that is in the cruise contract, and she was denied boarding for it. And that actually raised a pretty good sized discussion about that.
Kathy says parents with kids will abuse the times. James says hello, Chris and Tiffany from a warm Cincinnati, Ohio.
Warm? Well, that's good. At least it's not cold up there anymore. Parents with kids will abuse the time. That's really going to depend on Celebrity. Is Celebrity going to enforce the rules? And that's really what it comes down to for all the rules on all the cruise lines. They can have all the rules in the world, but they have to enforce them. Mm-hmm. So it really is going to depend on how much Celebrity is going to enforce that. And I think honestly that if kids are trying to come in that area at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 9 o'clock in the morning, and there's adults in there enjoying that area, believe me, there's someone's going to say something to get those kids run out of there. There really is, because there are a lot of adults, in my opinion, that want that quiet, calm, peaceful area to be, and don't necessarily want a bunch of noisemakers.
Yeah.
Cruising around their feet, other people's noisemakers. It's different if it's your own noisemakers. Well, it is.
James says it was 65 today.
That's good. Still not tropical good, but that's still good.
Connie says typically there are very few children on Celebrity cruises. There isn't much in the way of activities for kids.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I think Celebrity's using it as a way to say, hey, look what we're doing, but honestly, I wonder how much that's going to affect anybody.
Yeah.
Someone's still going to have a fit that there's even the thought of a kid being in the adults only area. But like I said, if they think about it logically before they write in cruise comments and it ends up on our Saturday show, just think about it a little bit. I really don't think it's going to affect too many people.
Bajani says, James is forgetting to tell you it snowed Friday night, was 14 degrees overnight Saturday.
Yeah, he did forget to tell us that part. He did definitely forget to tell us that part.
Today was cold here.
It was cold out here up until about 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And then we started a warming cycle again. And then today was 80 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
80 degrees down here in Texas today. So it was a nice day. I strapped Tiffany the lawnmower, put her out in the yard for a while.
Yeah.
You know, weeds are getting up. Had to get rid of those.
Did some burning.
Yeah, she was setting things on fire. She calls it burning, and pyromania could be a word.
Hey, the fire department wasn't called, so we
No, then it's called arson.
good.
And just for the public record, no, Tiffany is not an arsonist.
No.
Just in case any, firefighters are like, what do you say? No. Didn't say that. While she's sitting next to me. If she leaves the room, that could be a whole different discussion. But honestly, it's been pretty quiet in the cruise newsing area lately. The bad weather, the majority of the bad weather down in the Gulf and the Caribbean, that's all calmed back down. Cruise ships are out doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Carnival, of course, has ordered their new and fourth XL class cruise ship. Don't know its name yet. Don't know where it's going to go yet. They've just ordered it. And Royal Caribbean has ordered a new Oasis class cruise ship. And that's pretty much all the honestly big cruise news. Which is actually a good thing.
Yes.
Because if it's calm and if it's quiet, that means cruising is just doing its thing. Yeah. They're having a peaceful sea day out there.
Yes.
And that is just good news across the board. So it has been quiet, but it just means everything is going good and nothing bad is getting reported. And, there's no new cruise catastrophes to discuss.
That's a good thing. Hi, guys. Can you imagine a St. Patty's Day cruise? The drink package.
Well, they do cruise on St. Patrick's Day, and the cruise lines do, depending on which ship and, cruise line will do something for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So there will be some kind of activity for those days, and I'm sure it can get a little rowdy on those particular events and those particular parties, but in a good way.
Yes.
A good fun way, not nothing negative.
James says, yes, I'm with Bruce. But John said, I suggested gala or festival when John asked on his page. What'd you suggest for the name of the ship?
Oh. Well, so if they're going to kind of go with what they've been doing, now this is purely a guess from my point of view. Strictly a guess. But we did the Mardi Gras. We did the Celebration. We did the Jubilee. Those were some of Carnival's original ship names. So if they were going to continue with that tradition, with this class of ship, I think they're going to go with the Holiday. I'm thinking it's going to be the Carnival Holiday.
Okay.
Now, strictly a guess. I have no information that supports that whatsoever. But just kind of looking at what they've been doing so far with this class of ship, because like I said, the Jubilee is named for the Carnival Jubilee Celebration and the Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras being the very first ship they ever had. I'm thinking it's going to be the Holiday.
Bruce says corned beef tossing for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
Corned beef tossing. Pamela will be on a cruise on St. Patty's Day.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
You'll be able to tell us for sure how crazy those parties get.
Yes. Wear lots of green. I'm sure they pinch.
Is that still a thing?
Yes.
Is this still a thing for people that are not as old as us? Are the kids, are the 20-year-olds still running around going, are you wearing green? Because if not, I'm going to pinch you. I just got to I got to ask. Is that a break? Is that a trigger warning? You guys will understand that one on Saturday.
Cody says, I think you're right, too. Pamela says, hope so, thanks, Bijarm. But you're the influencer, Chris.
So I'm supposed to be influencing
Carnival on what to name the ship.
Carnival and what to name the ship? My guess is the Carnival Holiday. And boy, that could just be 100% completely wrong. Wrong all day long. I said that comes from nowhere other than a gut feeling guess.
Connie says, yay, the holiday was my first ever cruise back in the 90s. Pamela says she's going to wear green.
Because apparently 20-year-olds still pinch, according to Tiffany.
Jean, I'm sorry if I screw up your names. Going on my second year in a row for St. Patrick's Cruise, got all my beads and clovers. Are y'all going to be passing out green ducks?
Tiffany and her duck fascination.
Just Cody the holiday. I bet you're right for some reason.
Yeah, they said that's purely a guess. I mean, they said they could go completely the opposite with it, but that just, I don't know. That seems to be their trend for the XL class of ships. We'll see though.
Yeah.
Give it a few months, if that long, and they'll announce what the name is. As soon as they announce what the name is, we'll find out. But I don't know. Just gut feeling suspicion they're going to go with something like the Carnival Holiday.
That would be cool.
Well, I think that it's a nice throwback to the roots, to where they started, to the Carnival beginnings. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Especially since these ships are long out of service, they can start reusing some of those names again to kind of keep those Carnival names going.
Yeah.
So.
What happened to the rumor about larger ships for Carnival?
Well, I'm actually for Carnival, I'm surprised that they are actually ordering this early. Originally, they said they were going to hold off ordering for a few years. Kind of let business build back up, get their numbers back up, get their bank accounts filled back up. It must be happening faster than they anticipated. I know cruising is up. Occupancy levels are up. Cruises are seriously booked out for 2024. So a little surprised they ordered as early as they did based on what they had said previously. Now, whether Carnival's going to go into even bigger ships, I don't know. The current theory, at least the one that's passed around by John Heald, he said that in an effort to attract the new customers, the younger customers, the ones that are going to be the future cruisers, they want the bells, the whistles, the roller coasters, and all of that kind of stuff on the cruise ships, and the only way to get all of that on a cruise ship is to build bigger cruise ships. So there is a chance that Carnival will still build a bigger size after the XL series. They just haven't said anything yet.
Jean says, yeah, there's St. Patty's ducks and already got a few Easter ducks. I love it. I love it. Bajarn can't come back faster than almost sold out for 2024. Yeah,
and they are. They are. I mean, cruising is up. The popularity is up, and the numbers are up. Which is why the price is up.
Hey, Chris, I'm looking at a Panama Canal cruise in the future. Two things. Are ships still having trouble going through the canal like they were doing about 6 months ago? I've seen a couple go through.
The cruise ships are still going through. So, I mean, I haven't heard of any cruise. Now, I know there's been cargo ship delays, and some of these cargo ships sit in line for a couple of weeks, can sit up to 2 weeks, in line to go through the Panama Canal, which I don't know and honestly, I don't have enough information about the difference, the way cargo ships go through versus cruise ships go through, because cruise ships don't wait.
Yeah.
Cruise ships go down and get in line and go through, and they go through the Panama Canal. So I'm assuming it's something that's pre-scheduled, prepaid, and basically they have a slot to go through at that particular time. They probably pay more for it or something. Priority boarding, basically. They've got faster to the fun. They're platinum.
Yeah.
So they get to go to the front of the line is my best guess, versus cargo ships and stuff like that probably don't want to pay the premium that cruise ships do to go through. So, but I haven't heard that they haven't stopped any yet.
Pamela says, James, that's where I am going, and no, we are not going through.
You're not going through because you weren't scheduled to go through, or because they canceled your going through? That would be my question on that one, is because that would be actually the first time I've heard of them canceling of go through. So that would be worth looking at.
You think they will have Panama Canal cruises leaving from Galveston in the future?
They have Panama Canal cruises leaving from Galveston now. Already there. If you go to any of the search engines and select Panama Canal and Galveston as your departure point, you will find some. Already exist. So, and they're partial transits though, because they're Galveston round trip. Though occasionally you will have repositioning cruises too. There are a couple repositioning cruises that go all the way through for ships that reposition between Galveston and Florida. I want to say Carnival has some, and sometimes Royal Caribbean.
James says, thank you, Pamela. So,
yeah, no, right now up through, I think we can see all the way through the very, very beginning of 2026. There's a lot of stuff going out of Galveston. Like I said, you can go Eastern Caribbean, you can go ABC Islands, you can do through Panama Canal, you can do Journeys cruises, all the way down to 3 and 4 day cruises.
Pamela said, we were told they are not letting all of the cruises go through.
Okay. And that's, like I said, that is distinctly possible. I haven't heard anything, specific about that to say, it's this, or this, or this. I'll have to do a little research and see if, what's coming out of that area.
Attila says, I think it's Miracle or Legend go through to go to Alaska.
Yes. And one of those two I know does, but I can't remember right off the top of my head which one it's going to be. Yeah, it's Miracle. Yeah, Miracle and Legend. Yeah, Legend. I always get Legend and Liberty mixed up. I know a bunch of times I've said Liberty when I meant Legend. But yeah, those are the two that are coming. And we'll be sailing out of Galveston for a while. They're going to come for a visit. And so there's a few different Panama Canal options. Tiffany's never had a huge interest in the Panama Canal, though, huh?
Yeah.
No. I've tried to get her to go a couple of times. She's like, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go somewhere else. She always makes me book something else. That's how we ended up in Alaska. No? Then how did we end up in Alaska?
Because you wanted to go to Alaska.
You won't tell them kind of stories live. Live. That's crazy.
They know who's fibbing.
I know, but they're going to be polite and not admit it's you. Oh, man, I think it's going to be a short show tonight.
Yeah.
I said, there's just not a whole lot going on. We really just wanted to hop on here, kind of check in with everybody, reconnect with everybody since we weren't on here last week. But it's just pretty quiet. We looking at a couple of things that we might want to book, but haven't even really found anything to put on the books yet. The September for 2026 is not open yet, so we're still waiting on that to open up for to push the group cruise forward again. Kind of like in a big old waiting pattern.
Yeah. John says, has anyone taken a cruise starting in South America?
Starting in South, I have not. I do know that there is a couple of different content creators who have recently taken a cruise leaving out of Brazil, I believe. Talked about it, and he talked about that one a little bit. So if you're looking for, information on what it's like down there, Don from Don's Family Vacations, I know, recently sailed out of Brazil. And he would probably have the newest, freshest information on that. Just if you're looking something specific. I'm tongue-tied tonight.
You're tired.
That's because Tiffany wakes me up way too early in the morning.
I'm looking at going to San Juan and taking a Southern Caribbean maybe later this year.
Now that I've seen some of those, and some of those look like they are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cruises. I would love to hit San Juan, St. Croix, St. Thomas. To me, that would be like the perfect, especially if I can get it to leave out of Galveston.
Mm-hmm.
Leave Galveston, go to San Juan, go to St. Croix, go to St. Thomas, like a U.S. Virgin Islands, U.S. territories cruise. But it's going to have to stop in one other place to get that foreign port stop. Because Puerto Rico, St. Croix, and St. Thomas won't count. So it has to stop in like St. Kitts or something like that and make a good little tour and come on back. That would be an excellent cruise.
Any idea how far the airport is to Galveston Cruise Port?
You know what? I'm going to actually throw that to my man, James. He just did that, 3 weeks ago now? And he will give you, James, if you don't mind, the name of that awesome shuttle service that you used and about how long that took. But that's actually going to be your best source. When we sail on Galveston, we drive. We're close enough that it's a hop in the car. We're 3 hours drive from the port. So we just drive there. But James just cruised with us on the Prima, flew into Houston, used an excellent, excellent shuttle service, and we'll have that best information. So, and I know James, he loves to be helpful. I'm sure he's typing all that out for us right now.
Pamela says, I have taken that cruise. It was fantastic. There are some interesting destinations, but I'm not sure about the starting ports. James says, I've heard it's a great cruise. And Kathy says, anybody done any cruises from Southampton? Best way from London, Heathrow to Southampton.
Oh, you know what? That is a good question, too, because that is one of the cruises we're looking at. And I'd like to know that information, too. That would be a good one. I'll be able to have some experience for you after we do that cruise, but for now.
James says, I flew into Bush and used Galveston Express, and it took about an hour.
There you go. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it, James. I just remember you talking about it and how good and prompt and ready to go they were. So I knew that would be our best answer.
Attila said, I was just in Nassau and can confirm it's safe. We left the port area, walked around on our own, ate local food, etc. We didn't stray far from the touristy areas or streets. It was fine.
Let me hop up one more. And also that Galveston Express, if I remember right, James, also saying they also service all of the airports in Houston. So if you don't fly into Bush, if you fly into Hobby, that same shuttle service is also available from there, if I remember right. So the Galveston Express can be gotten at either location. We hadn't talked much about that. I do know, they've been putting out these travel advisories, advising against the Bahamas, advising against Jamaica. Okay. And I get it. But I got to say this too. He who lives in a glass house should not throw stones. I understand that you're going to, let people know, hey, if you're traveling over here, pay attention to what you're doing. And travel involves common sense. Okay. If you're going to get off the ship and you're going to wander around on your own, pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to where you are. If it doesn't feel right for you to walk somewhere, don't do it. If it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel safe, you don't do it. Turn around and go back the way you can. If you can, you be in a group, you be safe. Use a little bit of common sense. That's all there is to traveling. And yep, stuff happens in the Bahamas. Yep, stuff happens in Jamaica. I would not wander around freely on my own in a lot of those places in Jamaica. but excursions and stuff like that, they're perfectly fine. But I do think it's interesting how they specifically point out in these travel advisories, X number of people have been killed this year in this particular place. But they don't mention that we have cities in our own country whose numbers are higher than that for a city versus the Bahamas. You know, Nassau, Bahamas has had this many, deaths of locals. But you can look at U.S. cities that have more than that over the same time period, and there's not a travel advisory telling you don't go there. So while, yes, they're important, and yes, you should be aware of them, it's because I always see comments from people into cruise lines and stuff like that. Are you going to stop traveling there? Is it even safe to go? What are you doing to protect me? All kinds of stuff like that. And while important, you should always look after yourself. They're not the be all end all. That's all I'm going to say about those. And I've never had a problem in Nassau. Didn't feel unsafe in Jamaica. I haven't felt unsafe in Mexico. I'm also smart about it. If I look down and I'm like, ooh, this street, this road looks a little shady, I'm not going to go there. Yeah.
Robert wants to know how the parking is in Galveston.
Easy. That is the best way to say it. It is just super, super easy. If you use the Galveston Wharves, the cruise parking, which is what we normally do, there's 3 lots for where Carnival and Princess and Norwegian and Disney sell from the 2 terminals there. Royal Caribbean has their own parking at their own terminal. Runs about $18 a day. You can prepay everything online, show up with a piece of paper, boom, you park, free shuttle to the ship. Tons of shuttles. You don't ever wait. They're fast, they're easy, they're friendly. They load your luggage for you. They unload your luggage for you. I don't want to say, but I like it. It's the least stressful part of any part of the trip is honestly the parking and getting over to the ship. They've made it gravy. Super easy, super simple. Love it.
James says they were there to pick me up and then at the cruise ship to take me to the airport. Yes, they serve both airports in Houston. Thomas is here. Hello, Chris and Tiffany, just joining.
Welcome to the show.
James says, welcome. Thomas says, we have a Galveston Carnival Breeze cruise in June, renting a car and turning it in at the cruise AM. We need a ride to Carnival from our hotel about 3 miles. What are your recommendations?
You could check with your hotel and see if they have a shuttle. That is always an option. But honestly, especially if you got a party 3, 4, whatever, I personally recommend Uber or Lyft. That is just a personal recommendation, but I like the fact I can have them pick me up when I want to get picked up. That we don't have to wait on anybody else. You hop in the car, they drive you to the cruise terminal, they drop you off, boom, you're in and out. I like it a lot better than shuttles and buses and stuff like that, because then you're waiting on everybody else and they try to cram too many people in and all this other mess. Personally, I'm a big fan of Uber. No matter what airport we land at, what hotel we're staying at, what cruise port we're going out of, Uber for us is the way to go.
Attila agrees.
Yeah. It's convenient. It keeps you in control and on your schedule. And like I said, personal opinion, but with Uber, you can go in the night before and schedule your ride for the next day. We do that, going, what time we want to go to cruise port? Oh, we want to head over at 11. Boop, boop. We'll schedule an Uber the night before to pick us up at the hotel at 11 a.m. Boom, go downstairs and they're waiting. Hop in the car, off you go.
Jeannie said, did anyone hear about a carpenter that worked for Carnival Cruise Line, got sick, ended up at the hospital, he died, and some of his organs were missing? Heard once, then not again.
Okay, that one I have not heard even anything about that. I will have to look up that and see if I can find the information. I haven't heard anything about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Attila the Fun, express lot parking is close for Carnival, right in front of the Terminal 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of parking options in Galveston. I just personally use the cruise.
Dogs are upset by that story. Connie said that.
the dogs heard a vehicle outside and ran. Please go hush them. Please. Oh, you gotta go hush them up real quick. Otherwise they bark for no reason at nothing. They imagine they hear a vehicle. See, take Uber from hotel or Lyft. Yeah. And it's just the two of you. Definitely, I would go with something like that because you figure too. A lot of these hotels, some of them offer free shuttles, some of them charge you for the shuttles, and like I said, it's on their schedule, their time frame, and when they want to get you over there, to a certain point. With ride share, it's up to you. Just it makes your life less complicated, I think. Galveston does have some good parking. I also like the parking in Mobile. It took a lot longer to get in and out of the cruise parking in Mobile because of the parking garage situation. Because you pull in, you have to stop, take your bags off, get back in your vehicle, then you go park in Mobile. So it was a lot slower. It was still pretty easy though. But yeah, Galveston is definitely got some of the best parking situation. They got that dialed in. Or right.
Attila the Fun saw a lot of Uber and Lyft drivers at the Galveston terminals last weekend. Plenty of cars to take you in and out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're ready to go. They are definitely ready to go.
Aaron says, take a week off and you miss a lot. Robert says, your house sounds my home with the dogs, like my home with the dogs. Just Cody, we love the dogs. Laugh out loud. My dogs bark for no reason too.
Well, our son has a truck, one of those loud trucks. He's young, so he's got a truck. He put exhaust on it and all that kind of stuff. Well, they hear one and they automatically think he's here to visit. And so they go crazy thinking he's here, but it's not even him.
Yeah.
The neighbors have one that sounds kind of similar. And so they freak out, thinking their buddy's here for a visit, and he's not. But they bark and bark and bark at the door, thinking that he's right outside waiting to come in. And you have to go out there and tell them, no, it's not him. Otherwise, they'll just keep on barking. Or in this case, whining at the door now.
California Linda says, hello, everyone. Hello, Tiffany and Chris.
Well, good evening. Welcome to the show. But yeah, Oregon's missing. That is crazy.
You're going to have to look that one up.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely have to look at that. I'm thinking I might have missed something. Because crew members Oregon's missing. That would have caught my attention. That honestly would have caught my attention.
James says, hello, California Linda.
But I completely lost my train of thought. All right, so yeah, we got shuttle from the airport, rides from the hotel, parking, good stuff.
But that's only once a year. Attila the Fun. What did I miss? Only problem 2 weekends ago in Galveston was Mardi Gras parade, routes blocked off, some important streets. Some people were stuck in traffic for an extra hour trying to reach the parking lot. That's only once a year.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. But that's true for Miami when they have those marathons in Miami, things like that. Yeah, it does help to kind of know what's going on in the city that particular week because Galveston's going to have that once a year. And there's actually a couple different celebrations in Galveston. You just kind of got to know where they are and plan for them. Or know how to drive all the way around them.
Yes. Which?
Pretty good at.
Yeah, you are.
That's because I don't like getting stuck in traffic.
We fly to Brisbane tomorrow, late due to last minute check off list.
Brisbane. Oh, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Headed to Australia. That's right. That is coming up.
Yes. Have a great time.
Yes. Definitely take some pictures. That way you can come back, maybe share some pictures if you want to share some stories, especially being a cruise down to Australia, where a lot of folks may not have had the opportunity to get that far yet, like us. I'd be super interested in how things are and look and feel in Australia. It's on a bucket list, just haven't quite made it there yet.
Robert says, gotta go, buddy. Wow, very nice, Linda. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Very much so.
That would be a good one. If I had a little more free time on my hands and, could trick Tiffany into not noticing I booked Australia and left for, quite a while, I'd probably be there.
Yeah. Jarn says it's hard to drive around in Miami, one bridge in and out.
Yeah, I've heard about that in Miami too. That Miami Marathon comes through there and that traffic starts backing up and that one way in or out, and it's a mess. It is a mess. Now, Galveston can get that way too if there's a problem with, near the bridge, because it's one bridge in, one bridge out too.
Yeah.
To the whole island. But usually they're pretty good about keeping that uncluttered the best they can.
So this is great. Very nice, Linda. Have a great trip.
Yeah, definitely have a great. I think it would be an awesome trip.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to come back with some of the best stories we've heard.
Well, yeah. I was going to say that body one, but they weren't on that cruise. It was just a news article they saw.
Yeah, that's not what I mean by come back with a good story, okay? No, come back and go, hey, we heard the story about Miss. No.
No,
I'm thinking of stories like I hugged a koala bear.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Something like
They
that.
brought a kangaroo on the ship.
I saw a dingo try to eat a baby. You don't get that reference either.
Yeah, I get it. Yes.
It'd be okay. Oh, I'm trying to read comments that I already read. But, yeah, that's going to be a really, really awesome cruise.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is going to be really, really good. My mind is just completely blanking. Your turn. There you go. Chacon.
Oh, it's been a long day.
That's it? It's
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Little song, little dance.
No.
Entertain us.
No.
No? But they want to be entertained. But all right, I think we are going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up.
Crocodile at the port.
You can get that in Florida. You can get that in Louisiana.
Yeah. Those big spiders that are all over Australia.
Are there big spiders all over Australia? You know what's really all over Australia? Kangaroos. I heard that's where they come from.
Have an amazing time. Just Cody says.
She's gonna. I wish you the best on the air flight down there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time in an airplane. That is my biggest thing about going to Australia is that is a lot of time I have to sit still in an airplane. That is not my strongest suit.
It's Cruising Karen. Hey, y'all, I'm late.
Yes, but it's okay. It's okay. Any appearance is a good appearance.
Yeah, I might do that for my retirement, says James.
I said, I don't know. That's got to be just
15-hour flight.
yeah. Tiffany would have to sedate me.
Yeah.
I would have to take the sleepy pills to get into a 15 flight because I'm not a huge fan of sitting still for long periods of time. I'm just not. You could only, even with the in-flight entertainment and stuff like that, and I would have to get those lay down and go to the sleep business class seats because otherwise that plane is going to land and the TSA is going to be chasing me and all kinds of other stuff.
What are your thoughts on Progresso?
I like Progresso.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is not everybody's favorite. It's definitely not one of the more popular ports. But personally, I like Progresso. We've always had a nice time and great and awesome people in Progresso. It's super quiet for the most part. It feels calm. It feels safe. We've walked all around Progresso and never felt anything bad about Progresso. But yeah, you hop off, and the physical cruise port itself is very small. You have to hop on the shuttle to go down the pier. The pier is about 2 miles long. It's going to drop you off down there in Merida, which is the name of the city that you actually dock in. And then they've got a whole boardwalk that you can just walk up and down Progresso. If you haven't been or anything like that, you can go and check some of our cruises. Go to my playlist for Carnival Ecstasy. I know I go to Progresso, and I want to say
Princess.
No, we didn't go to Progresso on Princess. Their ship's too big. We've been there for Disney. We had to have been there for a Royal Caribbean one. But I know the Carnival Ecstasy, I was there. I actually rode one of them segways up and down in front of there. So I do have some video up there for Progresso. I like it. The food is good. The people are good. It's super, super friendly people. It's a nice little town. It's just not everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the cruise terminal is so small, or the cruise pier is so small, and you have to ride that shuttle bus. And so I think that puts some people off. But once you get in town, I think it's beautiful.
Have fun, and we'll see you next week. Fun as usual. Thanks for the great live. I always enjoy the live no matter what. Chris, you will have to post your next cruises.
Yeah, I'm going to have to book something and get something on the books. I got a couple in mind. I haven't locked anything in yet.
California Linda says, this is my retirement bucket list. Good for you, Linda. Have a blast.
You definitely have a blast, and we're really looking forward to hearing about it when you get back.
Attila the Fun, business or first class beds on those flights to Sydney equals Scrooge McDuck money.
I know. When I priced to fly to Southampton to do the British Isles cruise, it
was almost as much as
it was more than the cruise.
Yeah.
It would have cost us more to fly there than the 28 days of cruising one way would have cost us. Yes.
Thomas says, thanks and have a great week.
Absolutely. Yep. Thank you everybody for being here. Like always, we will be back next week. Maybe we'll have some cruising info for next week, because there is one in particular that I am looking at. I just got to get Tiffany on board with that one.
Thanks for the live show, says Dale.
So yeah, we're definitely going to be looking at that and see what else we can come up with, because I am already missing being out on the ocean. This being home is for the birds. I need to be out with the fish. So what's that?
California Linda James, Premium Plus.
As long as it's got some place where I can, take a handful of them special melatonins,
yes,
and get me some sleepies, then we'll be good. Because that's exactly what I am going to need. But again, thank you everybody for being here. We really, really appreciate it. Love doing these weekly lives. Love coming in, just talking with everybody, answering cruise questions and all that kind of stuff. We will be back next week. Hope everyone has a great day. Hope everyone has a really great week. And like always,
we'll see you out on the high seas.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.